Special.
I'm like an old lady.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right, meeting come to order. This is a special meeting of the Lake Bluff Architectural Board of Review. Tuesday, it's not Tuesday. Oh, yes, it is.
No,
No,
it's
it's
not
Thursday. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. You know, you're retired, you don't know what day it is.
Well, it didn't help that we had that wrong on the agenda.
Well, I'm reading it. Okay,
Yeah.
here we go. Anyway, roll call, please.
Okay, member Stradiff.
Here.
Member Wicks.
Here.
Member Kerouac.
Here.
A member Deegan.
Here.
And Chair Hunter.
Here.
And members Dahlman and Cottrell are absent.
Okay, the minutes of the October 7th meeting, that was a little short fall of staff meeting, of folks, whoever was here.
I move to approve as submitted. Second.
Any other comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we've got the non-agenda items visited for public comment that things that are not on the agenda. Anybody here want to talk about something not on the agenda? Anybody out in TV land?
Let me just look. If anyone on the Zoom wants to speak on something not on the agenda, press the raise your hand button there. I don't think anyone does. I think they're all here for agenda items, so I don't see anyone indicating that they want to speak.
Okay, then the first thing is the consideration of a signed permit for toy box storage at 95 Albrecht Drive. Do we have somebody to talk to that online?
Let's see here.
Existing.
Yes, I will. I think I've pressed the button to allow the correct person to talk. So, Gregory, do you want to tell us something about the toy box sign? Oh, okay.
Nothing?
Gregory, would you like to introduce your item, the toy box sign, and tell us something about it?
It says he's on mute. I don't know if he is.
Yeah, it indicates he's on mute. Well.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Hi. Yes, so we have a sign that will go on a concrete base. It's going to be an illuminated sign. The sign will have a conduit out of the back, coming out of the back of the concrete monument that will power the sign. We'll have a concrete conduit that will be painted to match the concrete base. We have some FCOs, acrylic FCOs on the face, on the lower part of the concrete base, and front lid channel letters on the top. The square footage will meet, I think it's 64 square foot for total for the sign. We'll have a part of it will be on the face, part of it will on top of the concrete base. There's some existing letters on the numbers on the concrete base now. 105, we'll remove those.
For those who haven't been out there in the last couple of weeks, the new landscaping has been put in, and now that the old bushes are removed, you can see the size of the berm behind the sign, and there'll be some of those, that new landscaping will grow to be sizable bushes themselves.
Anything else?
If you have any questions,
Okay, Scott, you want to start? Any thoughts?
I don't have any comments. I think it looks very nice.
Sue?
thank you.
I was wondering about the lights that are in front of it there. Are those going to be remaining?
No, we'll remove those.
The spotlights?
Yes, we will remove those. Because now we're gonna be having power for it, and we don't need those anymore.
Okay. I like the way you've made the landscaping go around the sign like that. Looks nice.
Thank you.
Anything else? Matt?
My only question is, you're extending the toy box sign, proud of the concrete base, correct?
Yes.
And, you know, the section you gave is probably for a standard mounting detail. But do you have, I'm just curious. So usually the backs of these signs aren't exposed. Are they providing a kind of a finished back panel and then also additional fastening system? So it's not just the bottom fasteners that are being used?
Yeah, so
But
the back
that's-
will be finished, it's aluminum, it'll be finished, aluminum, backer, it's be like a backer panel, a 2-inch backer panel that's.
I see, yep.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I see that you have a detail that I didn't
Yes.
look at on the
The
last
back is
page.
the aluminum backer panel that'll be painted, it's finished, it
Okay,
looks
yep.
nice.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else, Matt?
I think that should do it for my questions. Thank you.
Questions?
No questions, okay. And I don't have any questions, but I will say if you go by there, the place looks actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
It does.
Thank you.
All right, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve as submitted.
Second?
I have one more question, sorry. If we need to add an address number on the building, number 95, is that non-illuminated, that has to be permitted?
Oh, yeah, staff can approve the address number. That's fine. We are required to have that. Yep.
Okay.
You mean the address?
Yeah,
Yeah.
an address number.
Okay, so got a second?
I second.
Vote?
Okay. Member Stradiff,
Aye.
Member Wex.
Aye.
Member Kerouac.
Aye.
Member Deegan
Aye.
and Chair Hunter.
All right,
Motion passes 5-0.
okay,
Thank you.
good to go.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Number 5 on the agenda is the consideration sign permit for Crucible Fitness at 421 East Washington. We have
Yes.
Okay,
Come on up to the lectern. If you could, talk near the microphone, because that way everyone can hear if they're on Zoom or TV or whatever.
okay. Name and where you,
Jay Miles, live in Lake Bluff. I'm the owner of Crucible Fitness. And yeah, so we submitted a sign, I know last meeting, and we were asked for improvements, some of the changing in color. And so Dennis, our sign guy, did that. I think he reversed the images. I think you have those in front of you, but yeah, just looking at approval for that, for the change in the signage. I actually like the new one better. It pops a little more for sure.
Looks more like classy
Yeah.
or something. Oh.
you guys had.
Going first, sorry.
Yeah, but I know you guys had a pretty good discussion about this.
Yeah.
At the time, so why don't you do it again?
You go first. Or I'll go first. I mean, I like the change. I think it's much greatly improved.
Thanks. Yeah, Dennis did a good job on that.
My question was, when you look at the whole building, you have the one window that has the signage there. And then there's 2 other windows on that front building there. What's happening with those?
The ones that we're looking at on the screen right there.
I feel like there's even another one, isn't there? There's multiple, there's the one that the signage has, and then there's the white one. And isn't there even another one on the other side?
Yeah, there's one more window on the west side. There it was, I think.
Oh, I
there's-
was gonna go to, oops.
They're on the front.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
so there's 2 on the front, which would be the south facing Washington, and then there's one on the west. The one on the west, there's no plan to do anything with that window other than we cleaned it up. There were a couple of dumpsters there. We had the dumpsters removed. We don't need 2 dumpsters. I think it was an auto shop before that needed them. So cleaning that up. But then The two windows there, that white film, is gonna be peeled off, so just a normal window.
Right.
Yeah, the only thing we would consider would be if we were to put up like, what we offer, like our different classes or something, but we don't necessarily have to put anything on those windows. So, but yeah, that white film will be removed.
And then isn't there even another window or am I wrong?
There are 3 total windows. There's 2 facing south, 1 facing west.
Okay,
There's no plan for the west one other than just a regular window.
just regular windows.
Yeah, and there's, yeah, so.
And then the only other thing I was gonna say, and it looks like you've, I think, done it, but that if the signs that you have on the corners could make sure that they're aligned.
Correct. Yeah.
Top to, like, from the top, you know what I
Yes, my OCD will take care of that.
mean? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really, and that, I think that's really all my questions. How about you, Matt?
Thanks, Sue. My own thing, I think the sign looks great. For me, and this isn't a yes or no, or this isn't gonna pass on my vote, but I feel a little bit that the signage in the window, you have the 2 large signs.
Mhm.
I don't know if that one in the window is necessary. I mean, it's a lot of branding for a
Mm.
very small area. you know,
Correct. And-
So if it was mine, I would take that away and just let the 2-1 speak for themselves and not force a third of the same image, on, but that's not my business, but that's.
Yeah, and we were not planning on doing that one that's on the window. I know he put that on there. I think he just put some writing on there. Again, I think it would be if we were to offer like what our classes are,
Yeah,
high
yeah.
intensity interval training,
Yeah.
nutrition coaching, something like that, but it wouldn't be the same. And that would be a clear window on that.
Right.
Mhm.
That's kind of nice because it gives like a hierarchy, like there's the signage and then to your point, then here's like the like information. I think
Yeah.
that could be really nice.
But yeah, great feedback.
Right, that's all I had. Thank you.
Ed?
Looks great. Comments. I wasn't here for last week,
No,
so
I wasn't either, but I think it looks good. I think you guys made some good changes.
Yeah.
I do have a side note, which maybe you want to spearhead.
Yep.
I just have this dream that we're gonna fix up that strip of that area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think maybe you should
Agreed.
spearhead that.
Yeah, we can talk off.
Neighborhood cleanup.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that, yeah, I don't disagree.
it just looks a little shabby over there, and I just think like it really wouldn't even be
Yeah, I mean, we have,
terribly difficult.
yeah, we're gonna be doing some landscaping in the front.
Oh,
so,
that'd be great.
Yeah, so those 2 evergreen bushes are a little
Yeah.
long in the
Scraggly.
tooth. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And there's also, in that one big, what do you call that? Like not the marquee, but like there's this farther down by the paint
Mm.
store.
Yeah.
There's that tall
The pole sign.
The
pole
pole,
sign
yep.
thing.
Yeah.
There's an empty spot there that looks really glaring. Would he be able to put his sign up there? Do you know
Yeah, I
what-
think so. I think you could do that.
Yeah, yeah, and then the brick around the bottom of it
Looks
too.
terrible.
So, yeah, when my landscapers come, they'll fix that up.
Yeah. I mean, because I think I noticed the paint store doesn't have a sign up there either. So
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
like, no, like maybe somebody could put their sign up because it just looks like this empty
We,
thing with.
we did measure it, to
Yeah.
potentially put a sign up there, so, yeah, we would like to put it in that open gap
Yeah.
at the very top.
Do we have to approve?
Well, there
that?
was another exercise guy that was gonna go in there, or.
There is a
uh,
fit to defend,
Huh?
they're on the backside, the martial arts.
Okay,
Yeah, they're on the back end.
they're on the backside.
Yeah, and
Okay,
they have a sign up there, yeah.
all right.
The downside of having other people on that pole sign is these days, everyone's GPS gets them to the area of the building, but
Yeah.
they're looking for exactly where the tenant is.
Yeah.
And when they see the sign, they tend to head towards that corner and then this other corner, But it's up to.
There's
yeah, if you
stuff
want some
around the
time there,
back,
but-
there's a body shop
Yeah.
back there, there's stuff that you have to know is there to find
Yeah,
it.
Should we propose taking that thing down altogether? I mean, it just looks terrible.
yeah,
You know
right.
what I mean? Like, would it be better just not to have it?
It would be
at
better
all?
not to have it, but I'm sure the landlord would not
Want
be
that?
quick to agree.
Oh,
to
really?
Take it down, I would assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like something there would be better than right now. It just looks like this empty space with like, kind of like cords hanging and
Yeah.
that.
Again, that's where we would put our sign. We could
Yeah.
Measure it.
Yeah.
We would put one up there to try and clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, I think the code would allow them to do another sign. It would either have to come back here for approval unless you want staff to just administratively approve it. If it looks good, we could
Yeah.
I
possibly
think
do
you know
that.
where this is going, so if-
Yeah,
to me, you guys can approve it.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Just
So we
approve
need
it,
to
so it
approve
doesn't
this
have to
first.
come back. I mean, that's,
Yeah,
Yeah.
or do it staff.
yeah, right. It is allowed to have that type of sign also.
okay. We need another motion. And another second. We didn't do that yet.
Right.
Motion to approve as submitted.
Second.
Vote.
Okay. Member Deacon,
Aye.
member Careware.
Aye.
Member Wicks.
Aye.
Member Straight.
Aye.
And Chair Hunter.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. It's approved.
Good.
Thank you, everyone.
Good to go.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, next is a sign permit for Jersey Mike's at 25 South Waukegan.
Okay, let me,
No way. Nice.
Thank you.
okay. Okay, Dan, I think I've given you permission to talk now, so if you want to just tell us a little bit about the sign for Jersey Mike's. You have to unmute yourself first, though.
Here.
Okay, Dan, it looks like you're unmuted and could talk, but we haven't heard you yet. So do you want to tell us a little bit about the Jersey Mike's sign? Oh, iPhone. Okay, I will unmute the iPhone.
Hi, this is Andy Jacoby. I'm the franchisee. I'm not sure. Dan obviously knows a lot more about the specifics of the sign than I do, but if he's having technical difficulties, I'm happy to speak as well.
Okay, sure, go ahead.
So, and Dan, if you are able to jump in, you will do a much better job than me. So feel free. But so our plan is to have two signs. It's an end cap site. So our main sign is facing north. We've got a small oval sign that faces to the west. And then we've got two monument signs on the two monuments on either entrance to the strip mall.
Okay. So pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, I would say, we tried to follow the landlord's guidance was they'd like all the signage to be white. You can see in this image here a picture of the prior tenant signage. Our signage is very similar. It's also white, but in the Jersey Mike's, approved lettering in a similar position. They also had a similar circular sign on the west facing panel. And we put in the Jersey Mike's oval logo there as well.
Ed, you want to start this time? Got any thoughts?
Is the max height supposed to be 3'4"? Is that what I'm interpreting from the proposed dimension? Is that?
Yes. So that is, yeah, it's
The max
I guess
height.
the max height of the letters. I think it says 3.2 3/4, if that's right. And that was adhering to at least what the landlord's specifications were. It's similar to a lot of the other signage for the other tenants in the center.
So I think our code only spells out an area for limitations, and
I got
and I haven't seen a written copy of the landlord's,
Okay.
sign criteria or anything. to Go by.
We're happy to share that with you if that would be helpful.
Sure, yeah.
Sure.
Otherwise, I don't really, it seems fine to me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have no other questions besides what Ed may have asked, and looks good. If it all complies, I don't, seems like a fine sign.
I think my only question is, when it's put up, I noticed there's like that bar in the back, and is that the same mounting system as the what's up there? And is, you know how sometimes when they take down a sign, you can tell that the old sign said something else and it's kind of discolored and like there's holes in the brick and all of that? Is that something that you guys take care of, like mending or patching, if that's the case?
We certainly would. I don't believe that's the case, but I mean, our intention is to, make our storefront look very nice. So, if there's patching that needs to be done to the bricks, we'll do that, or
Okay.
we'll ask the landlord to contribute to that.
Okay. Or power washing or whatever has to happen, or just so it's like a nice face when that gets put up. And
Yeah,
okay, yeah, then that's
absolutely.
that's my only question.
Hmm.
Otherwise, it looks good.
Thank you.
I only have one question. I guess I haven't noticed. Are all of the signs lit in this complex? Or would this
Some
be?
of them are, some of them are not.
Okay, but yours would be.
Ours would be, and we'd obviously only keep the lights on during operating hours.
Okay. Okay, that's my only question.
everybody done me? Okay, my first blush was that it was too big, and that's probably because of the J and the long letters. Because we have taken great pains on all the signage to be down, I think it's 3 brick courses from the bottom and 3 brick courses from the top of the arch. This exceeds that except for the body of the thing. It doesn't seem to. The other thing, though, in my opinion, the medallion at the west side is gigantic compared to what was there now. And, I don't have that dimension now, but it seems like it's quite large.
Donati's was 2'6" circle.
And this one is, what does it say?
3 by 4'1" oval. So 4'1".
It's a fair point. The allowed real estate of that sign from the landlord was even larger than what we put up there. I'm not sure why Donati's sign was so small. But we wanted to have something that really stood out and was prominent. It's not going to get a lot of attention because it's the west facing span, so it kind of faces the Heinen's parking lot. But all the same, if we had the ability to make the sign a little bit bigger and still fit into that space, we were going to take that.
Anybody else have any concerns about that? Or you think it's okay?
Hard to tell.
Well, it's hard because if they follow the landlord, some of those things, like when we did Verizon, it seemed to work within, this one,
Yeah.
to your
I
point,
was
but
just
the cursive,
telling Mike,
that's,
this goes back to when we first, because I was here when we built that complex.
yeah,
And between us and Taxman, we arrived at a size.
yeah,
And actually, at the time, it was all supposed to be the same typeface. And Verizon was the test case because they had their logo, they had
Right.
all the things, and that kind of blew that out of the water.
right.
So I'm kind of going back from the history of how things got to be the way
Yeah.
they were anyway. And I guess that doesn't apply anymore. So I'm okay.
It does compress, between the arch and the coursework,
Yeah.
for sure. But it'd be hard for me to say it's not, since it follows the,
No, it is hard
Written
because I
rules.
think that the taxman, nobody has seemed to have a copy of that
Yeah.
anymore anyway. So, if Neil was here, he knows that all up and down.
yeah.
Anyway, so, okay, so let's have another,
I move to, we're approving, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I move to approve as submitted.
Second,
second,
second.
Mike?
Okay. Member Deegan,
Aye. Aye.
member Curtis,
Aye.
member Wicks, member Straight.
Aye.
And Chair Hunter.
Aye.
Okay, it's approved.
Awesome. Thank you all. Really appreciate your
Thank you.
time.
When are they gonna open that store?
We're aiming for January.
Cause everybody wants to know.
Well, I'm glad everyone wants to know. Yeah, we're aiming for early to mid-January.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, here we go, folks. This is a workshop. Who's gonna start? Gretchen, you?
I'm gonna recuse myself from this conversation. Just,
You don't have to leave the room, sit on the stairs.
maybe I'll listen in the back.
All right. Right.
Let's see here. Let me get the
Uh,
PowerPoint up.
yeah,
There
well,
we
I can start without the PowerPoint. I'm Gretchen Seymour, Lake Bluff resident, current Commodore of the Lake Bluff Yacht Club. And I was just thinking, I wish we were here just to get the sign. Like, I wish that we were at the point where we were just here to get the sign. So I'm optimistic that this is the beginning, we're hoping, of the final push so that we can get a sign. But I wanted to, I'm going to be turning this over to Taylor Overman, but I wanted to just give a hint of context of why we're back with changes, just to make sure everyone's up to speed. As part of the overall tank project at the beach, the North Shore Water Reclamation District did not ultimately agree to rebuild us as we had hoped. At one time, we had hoped. They did and have committed to providing us some funds toward the rebuild. Those funds will not cover the scope of the plan as it had been approved. It wasn't going to be close. So we went back to the proverbial drawing board, just kind of looking at the elements, seeing where we might be able to save some money. And as you know, when you go back to a plan and start looking at it again, ideas emerge, new people are involved, and we came up with some interesting ideas that we think are worth pursuing for the good of this project. So I am going to turn it over to Taylor. Taylor is Lake Bluff resident, Yacht Club member, board member, and has graciously agreed to step into a leadership role on bringing this project to fruition. So I am like doing the baton toss here. So I'm going to turn it over to Taylor. Obviously, I'm here to answer questions as we need.
Nice to see you. Like you said, I'm Taylor Overman. Moved here in 2019. I think we joined the yacht club and bought a kayak before we bought a couch. And so I was just really excited to have access to water because I grew up in the far reaches of the west suburbs. So I'm telling you all this because just want to give you some context of where this all came from. I feel like it's been hard for me fighting my friends and neighbors to join the yacht club. And the reason being is because since I joined in 2019, it's only until this year I've been able to get my kayak at the beach. So I've been on the wait list since. And so I think it's a non-starter for a lot of people to join or come to things, or we have lobster boils and all this stuff. And I just feel like this is such a unique thing that this town has that we don't utilize at all, or to the capacity I think we should, right? And I think only a certain amount of us are crazy enough to want to own a boat. And I think a lot of people want to maybe use one 3 or 4 times a year. So our goal ultimately is to hopefully buy a couple kayaks and paddle boards, assuming, you know, we have the right situation in place to say, hey, if you're a member, you have access to this stuff, and we're gonna have kid events and maybe some white tablecloth dinners for families and stuff, just like we always do, but have a place to get together instead of just like we're going to the Forester in 2 weeks for our annual dinner. And so my neighbor and I, we have, you know, in Lake Bluff, we have these small plots. And so we've recreated our detached garages into become like basically our covered patios, and they become our hangout places. And so when I joined the board 6 months ago, I just seemed like there was potential thoughts around rethinking just the boat club or the boathouse in general. And I just raised my hand and said, hey, here's an idea that I thought would maybe be helpful to share. And everyone kind of jumped on it. And so here we are. So I don't really know what ideas or what details you want in total. I have obviously the general changes that we made, but I think the real goal here is to have this thing look like it's been here 100 years prior to us even building it, and just have it naturally weathered, just like a boathouse up in Door County. Ted, the guy who's actually built these before for us on our street on Hearst Court, is on the call, so I'm happy to have him facilitate any sort of technical questions. But the real details that I think are important is that it is 6 feet taller than the original. It is the same width as far as the east-facing front, and then it'll be 8 feet deeper into the back of the yacht club. And so ultimately the goal is to say, hey, once we open these doors up, we pull the boats out, it's ultimately a place where people can gather and spend time together and be a place for the community to be. And then ultimately, you know, it is taking up one rack more than for storage for boats, but I feel like if we have access to boats for people, they don't have to schlep them up and down or have storage or maintain them. They would just have access, and then the yacht club would maintain them themselves. And so the reason for the second floor, I don't know if there's no reason for anyone to know this, but like most of the booze and tables and all this stuff is actually stored in Donna, who's our event planner's basement for all of time. And so having some place to put stuff would be very helpful. The second floor would not be somewhere where people would be hanging out. It would be more so just a place to store sales and, you know, things that we need. And then the first floor would just be for boats. And so I don't know what else I should cover, but I'm happy to answer any questions. Hopefully that covers most of it.
You want to start too?
Okay, so I looked at the packet, and is what's shown here, are these examples of other buildings, or are any of them that are in the packet the exact one that you're thinking of? Do you know what I'm asking?
Yeah, so I would just reference the actual sketches as like what we come close to hoping to want. And then the
Okay.
actual pictures are more so just the inspiration of what we
Okay.
would hope. You know, I think we all like the tin roof because it looks
Right.
unique, but also we understand it's different than the roof of the pavilion next to it. So
Okay.
I guess feel like it'd be better for it to match that. I'm never opposed to changes. I think, like we said, hopefully today we're here to gather your thoughts. So when we come back with a final draft in December, that it's hopefully closer to what you guys feel is best for the town.
And so I'm guessing that, you know, with Gretchen and just, you know, that a lot of this is driven partially by keeping within a budget and trying to hit something that can actually be implemented with the funds that are available. So is this a sort of like a part of a prefab, kind of a shed, you know, I don't know, you know what I mean? Or is
Yeah.
it something that's built, per spec kind of a thing, or?
Yeah, I mean,
Can I jump in?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Ted Stanizek, Taylor's neighbor. I know a few of you, so good to see you all. The No, it's not prefab. Essentially what we're trying to do is we're trying to design, I don't know, what I've said is a big shed. So this thing is going to be a big cedar shed built like boathouses were back in the 1900s. Two by eight cedar construction, cedar lap or yeah, well, the cedar lap siding on the outside, so that essentially the structure is the architecture and the materials are really simple because it's never going to be heated, minimal electricity. So it's just a simple custom boathouse.
Okay.
Mhm.
And is it how is it resting? Is there any kind of, is there a foundation type thing, or is it
There-
rest?
There will have to be a foundation,
Okay.
otherwise it'll tip over.
Yeah.
Currently what I've sketched it with is a normal 42-inch thickened perimeter foundation. There's some thought that we could get away with essentially maybe a 12-inch thickened perimeter with a 5-inch slab because of the way we're sitting on the sand, and the sand is firm and compact above the tank. And then we're also talking about possible alternative methods where essentially we build the foundation like a big deck. We can make it out of wood rather than concrete to keep the weight down to a minimum, and then put the building on that, and then anchor the what would be the floor to the sand in a couple of different ways. So it's right now the foundation is the biggest question. Like what I've told Gretchen and Taylor, obviously it's the thing that scares me the most because it's going over the tank and it's on sand. So I'm going to really rely on engineers and foundation people for this. So I would say the foundation is strictly conceptual at this point.
Mhm. Huh. And then, and then the fencing is,
The fencing, so that's kind of out of my purview. We're talking to David's Holdsworth currently with Superior Fence to do the fencing. We're looking at aluminum pickets across in early discussions. Picket fences across the front, so it has a kind of a pretty formal vintage look across the beach. And then as a cost saving measure, the other three sides could be as simple as chain link, galvanized chain link to kind of match the roof, because that's really just security. They're hidden by the pavilion, the bluff, and the water reclamation district, so you don't even see back there.
okay.
So decorative across the front, kind of
Yeah.
real functional on the other three sides.
Great.
Yeah, the only thing I'll add on that is that we've talked about bringing the nice picket back 15 feet or so back on each side, so that as you're walking down the hill, you're still gonna see the nice fence.
Yeah, it'll have returns for sure.
Well, I'm trying to picture it. I mean, I kind of like the weathering idea. I think that's kind of a nice thing. I'm trying to imagine it sort of nestled in between the brick and the other building, and I don't know. I think it could be nice. Yeah, I have to.
If you get to there's a illustration of it on the beach. There you go.
That
Okay.
one.
Looks pretty large there, but I don't think it'll be that large.
Hmm. Right, because you have that second story.
Yeah, we're adding a loft, like a U-shaped loft. So the center where the barn doors are would be open to the rafters, but then a
Yeah.
staircase and then a loft that goes around the perimeter.
And what's the roof material again?
I think we can get it because we're looking for the weather, and I think it can be corrugated, galvanized, exposed fasteners, like a really simple metal roof, or we could go to standing seam, but it is a considerable cost increase to go to.
Hmm. I don't think I have any more questions right now. I think I'm just thinking about it.
Yeah, I appreciate the, kind of the budget restrictions. I mean, we're all in a budget restricted world right now. My only concern is the romance of the aging boathouse, I think along a shoreline is lovely. My concern is if it's the only one on this kind of elevation, it could feel just like I don't want to use the wrong or too harsh a word, but like just a dilapidated building versus a row of these, lovely East Coast boathouses that have lived and aged naturally and are all in sync with each other. My concern is here, it's going to look like they didn't have money, they did this, and instead of reading kind of what the intent is. I believe what your vision is correct in general. I think its application here, just with how refined everything else is, and refined is a hard word down, but it is, everybody's done their best on the other buildings. I just feel that as a standalone object, it works, but in the context of what's down there, that aging idea feels a little, it could be amazing. It could also feel like they just didn't put effort into it, which I know is not your intent, but that would be my concern going that route is.
So my comment about that is the quality of the materials, the choices that we'll make for the siding, for the roofs, and then as well as kind of the craftsmanship and the carpentry that goes in it. That's why in one of the sample photos I showed the mitered corners on the building. We're going to build custom barn doors with a double tracks, so they'll open wide open. It's really a quality and a craftsmanship issue. And I'm very focused on that. That really is, because if we're going to do a building this simple, the materials, the lines, the quality, the craftsmanship is really what matters.
Yeah, and I don't doubt that. I mean, from all your, kind of comparative photos, your vision is, I love your vision. It's just, that would be the one thing that scared me, is like doing that tin roof versus a standing seam. When you go to Menards and you see those metal roofs and the little ridges in the middle of the panel versus those nice pack-clad standing, there's definitely a aesthetic quality to those, that become, so that, I'm just telling you what my initial concern is. It's not that you're right or wrong, or I'm right or wrong. It's just a concern in this area.
And so the only thing I would say to everybody as you're thinking about that is because we're doing a design build here, what I'm doing is I'm just working right. I'm going to snug up right to whatever the final budget ends up being. And I'm going to lean towards quality as far as I can. So if we can afford a standing seam metal roof on this, we would definitely do it.
As far as the roof, I feel like you do see a lot of the roof. Is there a more maybe warmer tone to something that can happen on the roof? I think the cool tone metal is maybe what is standing out a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's if it's just galvanized, we don't have a choice. If we end up with standing seam, we have all the choices. It could be the red to match the pavilion. It could be green to kind of blend into the bluff. If we get to standing seam and we can afford it, we have lots of color options. Although the thing about the reason the metal really works, it's just reflecting the sky. That's kind of it'll change all the time. It'll be bright blue, it'll be gray, it'll be all the colors of the sky. And that's what I think is the beauty of it.
Yeah, I think if we were to put a little note out to all members and even just people in the village, I don't think it'd be very hard to get people to donate to get everything we need to build it with the best money.
Yeah.
I know, because it's such a great thing.
Yeah, we're only gonna
that
do this
it would-
once.
I mean, it's just kind of,
Yeah, we don't want to cut corners.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, it is the one opportunity to do a private building down there.
yeah.
I mean, that's a big responsibility. And unfortunately, we all feel like we own the city, you know, the village,
Yeah.
as we see in all of our projects around here. But yeah, I mean, we're all hoping for the best, you know, it's not a fight you on. It's just make sure we've all thought through.
So the thing I would ask is, because these choices will be made as we go along and there'll be plenty of time to choose colors and so on. The questions that we kind of really need answered are size. Is where the original plan was 30 by 16. Will you be okay with 30 by 24? This building's approximately 6 feet taller than the original design. Is that okay? Because then we'll work out the details as we go from there, but it's kind of the massing and the location that I think we need direction on.
Let's keep going with some comments, though.
Sure.
Okay.
I guess I'm looking at the height differences, and when you say it's a 6 foot different height, it looks more dramatic than that in the artistic elevation. So that would be the thing that I would, look at. I think if you look at the original, obviously had the hip roof, architecturally, it doesn't at all compete with the, outdoor porch structure. This clearly is, boom, it's front and center.
Mhm.
And maybe that's what it needs to be. All I'm saying is size wise, it's substantially more, which is what it needs to be for program. That's great. So I guess I would just, I wouldn't want it to get any taller than what they're articulating. That would be one of my, I don't know. Matthew, what you feel about that?
Yeah, I have no issue with the proportions. I think, it says yacht club, so I'm expecting big when I hear yacht club. So I have no, truly, there's a big building next to it. I don't think this is dwarfing anything. It's serving its purpose nicely. It'll be the matter of, to me, materials and proportions. I think a big building with bad proportions, materials are bad. A small building, big, bad materials, but a good building, with the right size, with the right materials, I think works. I don't have an issue with that. And the roof, like all roofs, you're never going to see it just like that. That's not a fair representation when we show elevations on a slope back roof, and the dormer is going to break that mass up really nicely. I'm just more concerned about what I stated before. And I know the execution will be done perfectly. It's just the materials applied to it, just making sure that it doesn't look like a tin shack versus this age, East Coast, beautiful, that are in your inspiration pictures.
Sure.
One other question. You had said that the original footprint was 30 by 16, is that right? And then the new footprint is 30 by 24. How is, just knowing budgets, how is that going in the right direction in terms of budget?
It's the way I worked it out.
Okay.
As we were working on the build,
Okay.
I got to a place where we could afford to do it this size.
Ted, I'm gonna have to have you look at about 20 of my projects.
Yeah.
It's a deal.
All right, I got a couple of operational questions first. How many sunfish are left, Gretchen? Because I can't imagine the number of sunfish. I was a member of that club from the late 70s. I was a secretary treasurer many years ago. But we probably had, in those days, maybe 75 boats. This was before kayaks, before paddle boards. It was nothing but sunfish and a few lasers. Anyway, so you're thinking to actually put boats in there. That's boat storage. What about the racking idea?
Yeah, so the Zodiacs, the two Zodiacs would live in
Okay,
that
then.
front house.
Yeah, all right.
In the old compound, they were tucked in the back.
Right.
You know, opposite the shelter. So when we're saying boat storage, this is still just for the Zodiac, as well as our gear, as well as all the stuff related to the club that lives
Okay,
on his
all right,
basement.
not necessarily
Not boats, not
the
sunfish.
spots.
We're still
inside.
gonna have the racks. The layout is exactly the same.
Now, is that gonna be part of this first phase? I'll call it a first phase.
We'd like to be able to do the whole thing, like next summer, like the goal would be fence, racks, house. Like
Would the racks have the roof over them?
no roof. That's a change. At least in this phase, no roofs. Just the racks to get us, and then we can get some money, and earn some money, and maybe we do a phase 2 with the roofs later. You know, I think Taylor's, this idea of having shared or club-owned kayaks, similar to how we have club-owned sunfish, is big because we think we can get a lot more people involved. And really, you know, continue to build the club and have more community people involved instead of, yeah, to your point of, I'm on a wait list for 5 years. I'm never gonna be able to use it. Did that answer your question?
Well, that's part of it. Now, the other part is the logistics of doing this. Is it the thinking that you mentioned you thought you could maybe get a lot of voluntary people for materials? What about building it?
Oh, we're not gonna build that.
Okay,
Gretchen is not building that. I mean, I don't know.
Come on, Gretchen.
Sorry.
Where's your dedication?
No materials are gonna be donated. No one's gonna build it besides professionals. It's all gonna be done by carpenters and contractors, and it's.
well, okay, so the North Shore is out of it, the reclamation district, because they wanted to build it. Yeah, that's all gone up. That's all gone up in smoke.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so,
So this is Lake Bluff Yacht Club hiring contractors.
okay,
to
now,
build it.
now, for you, Mike,
Mm-hmm.
do they have to have an architect do this?
Yeah, they do.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the goal for this was to hopefully have everything finished, finalized, and proposed for you guys for December's meeting, so that we have nothing holding off, so that the second the ground unfreezes in March, April, May, we can build, so that the club members has their foundation of everything before season starts. So we're really just trying to make sure we're prepared. We get all of your notes, critique, feedback, come back with real drawings in December, and obviously open to whatever that meeting comes from, but get the rough draft done today, bring you the final draft, and then hopefully.
Okay, well, that's all good. I'm glad to see things moving forward. As far as the building itself goes, I think it's a good idea. I don't really have an issue with it. What I do have an issue with is the idea of the natural material. I tell you what, I did a boathouse for Northwestern University way back, probably 40 years ago, when the shoreline was totally different. And it was pretty big. It was bigger than this room, but it was cedar and it turned black and it really got ugly. And if you look at the cedar fences around town, you know, they do the same thing. Cedar's a good wood, but what I would suggest, maybe what you want to do is whitewash it. And it'll give it a different, instead of having the decayed look. You know, if you go out on the East Coast and look at all the cute little yacht clubs that are up and down Narragansett Bay, and you know, they're all white and trimmed, you know, very, very pristine. Not all of them. Door County's different. But anyway, that's just a thought to maybe tie it in a little bit more with what's down there and not have it, you know, cedar looks great the first year, a little less the second year, and by 5 years, it doesn't age correctly, and it's just.
So you think white would not look in contrast to the municipal pavilion and the,
I'm just saying, when I say whitewash, maybe it's this kind of white.
okay.
You know, it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be a harsh white, but it's a stain
Yeah.
and not something that has to be painted every 5 years. It just kind of weathers itself underneath, but it always maintains, kind of like white painted brick that's 50 years old. It gets its own patina, but it still maintains a certain,
Yeah.
so that's just a thought.
like that.
I don't have a problem with the height of it. As Ed says, it's a perception of one point, you know, it's your skyline piece. But, yeah, I don't have a problem with that. The fence though, you know what I do? I'm just gonna suggest that 9 feet maybe is a foot too tall. Is the eve point, unless there's a driving,
For the fence?
no, for the building itself, you go 9. And then, you know, if you had just to lower it a tad,
That's-
No, the eve.
yeah. And that's all exposed timber or exposed structure on the inside.
Right.
That's all flexible because, you know, we can choose a plate height. The raft, you know, the beams will sit on top of that, and then we need enough for the second story. So like minimum would be 16. You know, minimum kind of gets it to 20. What I'm drawing is 21. So that's, you know, so with a full second story, it's hard to be shorter than 20 feet. Am I doing the math right on that, Ed?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
it's all good.
Okay.
Yeah. No, looks good.
I don't know that I have any other comments other than
I have one more before you close out comments, just.
okay, but well, I'm not, yeah, well, this is the workshop, so we're just talking.
Yeah.
But I'm a little concerned about the fence, and I'm concerned about the fence when it comes to the village eventually has to have the approval on this thing.
What about the fence?
Well, that there, whatever that fence is, on the front, that's one thing. That's probably the most critical piece, and that needs to blend in with the building, it seems like. And what happens on the two sides, how far you can go with a chain link fence. Chain link is not cheap.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if it's the same cost, if not, or close, I think we just do all 3 sides and then the back, just to protect the back on the bluff side, which you won't see
Yeah, that's true.
too
Yeah.
inexpensive.
But
You know, I think we all would prefer that, to be honest. I don't think we want chain link anywhere, but if it comes down to budget, then that would be certainly on the backside.
I think, you know, I don't know how you want to work this, because we're gonna have to see more drawings before this is done. We're not gonna, our job is not to look at the structural part of it or how you're
Yeah.
gonna do the foundations or anything like that. Although we may have comments on it, but I don't know if we've given you any good feedback yet.
Can I give one more?
Yeah.
Just, I don't know if it's good. I didn't mean to say one more good, but the other thing I would look at just is the dormer. It feel, you know, having 6 windows, you always want, I mean, for me, I like to have odd number. I just feels better for nature's reasons. And even the proportions feel a little kind of horizontal and not really representing a full second story. So maybe look at the proportions of your dormer. I think that might relieve a little bit of that roof feeling like it's overpowering because it's kind of squeezing. And the dormer shouldn't feel squeezed. It's a big roof. So I think give the dormer some life a little bit taller windows. It's a true second story. I mean, the window should represent kind of a second story. It feels like it's a squished attic dormer.
I agree.
That's all.
That's actually walkable space where that dormer is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So you'd want to see what the head heights are and all that anyways. I know this is just a draft, but that's
Yeah.
a comment.
Okay.
So one thing I wanted to mention is, you know, this board had approved a fire sprinkler exemption for the previous yacht club design.
Yeah.
And, you know, even though this building's a little bit larger in footprint and taller, I don't think it really changes the degree of hazard in relation to sprinklers and all that. So from the staff's perspective, as long as the members on the ABR are okay with that previous approval still
Yeah.
applying to this.
Absolutely.
Doing that. too.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, I have no objection. There's no change in function or.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Not at all.
Great.
But again, I'm gonna go back to process here, because I don't think you're ready to come back with a done deal package. Unless you think you are, but I don't think you are. What do you guys think?
Well, I think
Got
that
the
they,
concept of an idea, and we need to see more than a concept.
But
Yeah.
certainly in December, we're gonna have a 95% to 98% done and to have your feedback for, and obviously any tweaks or changes you see necessary, we'd love to make. But ultimately, our goal is to not delay this any longer than it has to, and then we wake up and it's beautiful here again, and we've got 90 days of summer and no one has a boathouse. So ultimately, if we've got, I'm glad you guys moved this meeting up. Now we have more days to work on it, and we'll have final drawings and everything done before December's meeting. And at that point, I know we won't be fully done. We'll always need to change some stuff, but we want to get as close as possible in the next 45 days, if possible, because
That would
we
be
don't
great.
want another summer without this being built.
Can I ask another question?
Please.
Go ahead.
With the sliding barn doors, I'm trying to understand how the panels, like, it's supposed to totally close, correct?
Mhm.
So then the width of your, is what, 14 plus another 8, so like 22 feet of door, right?
Yeah.
And so are you stacking? I mean, I think what is the system there for that?
So the opening for the opening is 14 feet
Yeah.
to get the Zodiacs in and out.
Yeah.
We're assuming 4 barn doors they're on a double track with a bypass, so they stack top of each other on the sides.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
So they're, yeah.
Yeah,
so
it
the
will be
plan-
4 doors across the
Yeah,
front.
I'm sorry, the plan shows that pretty clearly.
Mhm.
So those just all run within, you have 2 tracks running parallel, right? They just run
Right.
and then they all lock, yeah, okay, thank you. So that's gonna be a pretty substantial element, that tracking system, which is nice, it just needs to be, yeah.
Yes.
I like Bob's idea of staining the wood, whether it's cream or white or even a green or a brown or a tan or something.
Yeah.
I think that would help with Matt's comment about it not looking too weathered and, I mean, maybe not sort of fitting in with what's there already. I think that's nice. And I definitely think the standing seam, if it's affordable, would really be nice too. I think that would again, like, bring it up a notch.
Mhm.
I know there's budgets, but I think that would be my. thing.
When I'm working at, once we get the structure worked out, then I'll propose options for color and roofing. Sure, I'm happy to do that.
And are we approving also, I mean, the fence seems to be just as important, right?
Fence is
To
very
our,
important.
so,
Yeah.
and I have no
Totally.
feel for the fence or the gate
Yeah.
right now.
Well,
I don't have
I've heard that The
comments.
fence was very, very expensive,
Yeah,
Yeah.
in previous things, but, as far as how you're gonna build this, is that what you're asking?
Oh, no, I don't have a question about that. I'm just saying, when we figure out how tall, how wide, how deep, and what kind of foundation on it, how we dress it, whether we use stain or standing seam, those kind of questions. That'll be the next phase, and that'll be driven a lot by the budgetary considerations.
So I'm gonna jump ahead to what I think the village board is eventually gonna want to see.
Mhm.
I'll call it the master plan. Which is start at the end and then work your way to what you can do now.
Mhm.
So that everybody can see where this is hopefully gonna land, X number of years from now when it's all done.
Sure, that seems right.
I know it's hard without a visual, but can we talk about the fence a little bit in terms of, because, you know, in other iterations, we'd had kind of opaque, like and then we realized the wind load on that was just gonna be bonkers to try to manage, and that's when we started talking about picket. Just the idea of picket and being able to see through, is that giving anyone palpitations?
No?
No, not really.
Yeah.
No.
Do you guys have any?
How tall would the fence be? It would be nice if it was in some relationship to the building itself. Whether it's the top of the doors or, you know, something like that. And what the racking is gonna eventually be when you're able to maybe put a roof on that. So that's why I say start with the bigger picture and then work your way down to what you can do right now. Yeah. But it's planning for the future.
And when you're saying picket, are you guys thinking wood? Wood, we don't
No,
know.
more of aluminum,
Okay.
like aluminum black fence. Right, Ted?
Yeah, I'm thinking,
Seems neutral.
aluminum, yeah, something that when you're, you know, gets pretty transparent, gets invisible, as invisible as possible. So, you know, like, they're the 3/4 inch square aluminum verticals, 1 inch horizontals, and whether we have little spikes on top or they're just squared off. But, you know, a pretty simple aluminum fence.
So for the chain link, a black vinyl might go better with that than
The-
galvanized.
Yeah, my objective would be to make it invisible. So when we get to color choices, I want it to be kind of the fencing to end up being pretty transparent.
And then the gate itself, what is that? Same material as the fence?
Same material as the fence. They'd be manual gates. We wouldn't have openers on them.
Sure.
But the same material. And when we get to fencing, when we get to our next meeting, I'll have examples of all of that for you to see. So you won't have to guess what we're recommending. We'll have a couple of options for you to look at.
Is security an issue? I mean, the thing has been down there for 50 years. And I don't know if it was ever an issue.
You know, once in a blue moon, will somebody say their paddleboard is missing? And I'm like, just take a walk around here, you'll find it, right? It's.
Was the Blue Moon car is missing too, so.
Yeah. It is not an issue.
There's a couple people who just hid theirs behind the fireplace all summer and it never moved.
Yeah. I know the ones that are on the rack behind it, they used to be on the rack on the hill. They were just
Yeah.
sitting there.
Yeah.
But who would want those?
Right.
We used to always have to go around and find our life vests occasionally, but they were always there somewhere, but
Right.
just someone borrowed them. You know what I mean? It was in a very Lake Bluffy kind of way. So
I don't know about the rest of the group, but if you feel that you would like to see us before you're 90% done, like when you're raise your hand and sometimes we get together.
Okay.
Can we do that?
I'm gonna be out of the country, but I'm sure someone here could.
Well, how long are you gonna be gone?
2 weeks.
Oh, well, no, not
Yeah.
that fast.
Right, yeah.
But maybe before the, when is the November meeting?
Well,
Are you talking
it
about
was gonna be
December.
coming up really fast.
Yeah, like
Um,
next week.
Yeah, right.
But we wouldn't have one, right?
We're not planning to, right?
Good.
Isn't that
Yeah.
what this is?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just
exactly.
trying to catch up.
Oh,
So it was
Just wanna make
gonna
sure.
be November 4th.
We won't be ready by December
Oh,
4th.
you're not, no, that's
Yeah.
too soon,
Yeah.
but I'm
Yeah,
saying
right.
That you mean
between now and December, when you
November.
think you're gonna have that much done, that's a risk, I think we ought to follow you along.
Yes,
Uh,
that'd be great.
We don't want to design this thing for you, but we're gonna have comments as you see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my
Vehicles.
one last one, just, and I know this is just preliminary, but a couple of little light fixtures, little barn lights add a lot to these strike. And I'm sure that's in your plan, but all those little things help. Just breaking up
Yeah, good point.
the mass and
Yeah.
give it some life, all that stuff.
And you do have a sign, which we know what it is.
Certainly have a sign.
Yeah, wait till you get that sign. Where's the sign going?
We'll see. TBD.
Yes,
You
exactly.
can work on that, Matt. You can work on where you'd like the sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think ultimately we just want this to be a good thing for the town. So if you guys have one-off ideas when you leave here, we just,
Sure.
we just want it to be nice. That's it.
Yeah,
All right, well,
appreciate that.
if with
Uh,
this,
From my point of view, this has been really helpful. You kind of said we're okay on size, general massing, we'll work out the details and work out colors, so I'm ready to take it to the next step, so thank you very much.
that's good. We're
Mhm.
here to help. We're not here to be in the way.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Sue, maybe.
Okay. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ted.
Thank you.
And those little boathouses that you have or your neighbor has, those are very cool. Okay, what else have we got?
Nothing else.
Nothing else. All right, then,
I move to adjourn.
Huh?
Do I get to move to adjourn?
You do get to move from
And
adjourn.
so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Hey, Mike, can we leave this stuff here for recycle?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Okay, meeting's adjourned.
So.
Then
Were you just?